So, essentially what's unique about the fact that you've been climbing nicely is that you've had a carry top laner with a supportive jungle, which is quite nice because a lot of people always ask, well, how do I carry if you know, I'm not the carry? And I think that's something people in the Discord know I like with things like Ornn and stuff like that. But obviously Nunu is the best version of this.
Yeah, especially when you can just take Knight's Vow and Ziggy's and pull it on the quad. But usually I don't take Ziggs, I usually just take Knight's Vow and go with my tank items. He doesn't need Ziggs that much.
No,
games.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, going full supportive itemization is not always...
yeah, because you appear to be very squishy, and I often had times when I could have just go for the tank items and be more tanky.
Yeah, exactly.
But when I go full supportive, it's mostly because either my DC is very fed and I can just help the person out, and the support is also an AP or something that doesn't build those two items.
Yeah,
or I think that's it. No.
Yeah, that's pretty much. It's only like if you got like a Turbo Fit Smurfing Challenge Jinx, you know, like okay, I protect you and keep you alive, no problem. But for most of you guys as well, it's not going to be like you don't want to be building that in silver or gold, you know? I mean, you want to be going for your actual items so you can survive and handle yourself. So
you can just go proto belts and Raven like I do.
Just go proto belts.
Okay, sorry.
You see, now you're trolling. Okay, so obviously that's the classical Nunu clear in 4 camps because it's easy. Do you? What do you look to do now? Like, what is your sort of early goals usually with Nunu? Because obviously you have a top lane carry matchup, especially in this case carry versus carry. So if top is looking juicy, we definitely go there, right?
Yeah. Whenever I play with him, he usually pushes a lot. So in case a gank appears on something I want to counter gank,
yeah,
and be around top side. And if a counter gank appears to happen, I just go for it. But if it appears to be a gank on mid, I would just go there as well. If not, I'm just taking Scuttle Crab, Gromp, reset, go for the Krugs, and look for other opportunities.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like my usual early game plan.
Yeah, I agree for this because a lot of people, and this is why I liked your early game. I was watching this replay and I was thinking, okay, I would do this now, and then you did it. And it's like thinking, okay, I would do this now, and then you did it. So I think we have a similar way of looking at looking at sort of the map in that sense. But here, this is what was weird about this game. I don't know if you remember it, but currently, Silas has done something kind of troll. He's down by your red buff. He's done by your red buff. He literally did red side, shadowed the push.
Yeah, and he went bot side.
Yes, and then he went bot side. So in this case, this is kind of strange because normally at this case, most of us would assume he'd be here, at least like heading to the blue side. You know, like at least by this plant or something maximum. You know, red side into that bottom side and then look to do something. This is very aggressive. So I'm not sure if this is, from his perspective, I don't know what he's doing because he would have known you started that side, most likely. So he's basically in perfectly primed position to counter gank you.
Actually didn't think that he would start top side as well. I missed as well.
I think you both missed each other. Like if we go to 129, because you had a leash though, so he should have known. Did he have a leash? Let's see. Yeah, he had a leash as well. So both of you didn't really track each other, but at the same time, oh, you did. You pinged it. No, Braum pinged it. Okay. That's weird.
I did ask my duo if the top laner went to his bush, because he usually likes to cheese level 1 and try to gain lane priority. And you know, he usually says if someone came in and used an ability or something.
Yeah, well, I mean, Trent was late, so... So, after that, the nice thing is your Raptors and things are not up. This is such an unnecessary ward, I guess, but makes sense. Just in case you come down. The thing is with this game, for me, it's weird, because you've got Kled, you've got yourself, you've got Kalista. So essentially you want to get yourself, the Kled, and your bottom lane turbo fed. Because you want these people to be ahead so you can just absolutely snowball the win con. The problem is you've got this big suck in the mid lane. This Cassidon, late game, so the whole map for you is bent in. Like you've got lane pressure top, sucked in to the mid lane, and then could be pushed or shoved in depending on how the bot plays it here. But this is Ranger's melee, so they should technically have prior there. At least with Braum, you know you've got a good gankable lane. Okay, now you already explained your game plan. So for those of you watching, watch this. This is how easy it is, right? Right, we gank mid, it gets counter ganked, that's sad. We fall back, we take Crab, we take Rump, then we wait for top to push, set up by his duo, and we run in. He doesn't stop to scan, he doesn't stop to, he doesn't stop to clear the ward or whatever, he just goes, because it's a free flash. Because of the lane state. And then this is such a good back. Why is this such a good back? Out of vision. See? The anatomy of a gank, everyone. All of this stuff is subconscious for people like Toods and the Zealer. You just kind of do it, you know it. But the behavior of the Tryndamere lets him know, hey, this is warded, right? Because if you watch the Tryndamere's body language, as he's rolling up, before he shows, he's reacting very well. So you know, okay, this is likely warded, and he disappeared from the map. But you don't stop, you just keep going. It's absolutely free. So that's very nice. Right, okay, so what do you want to do now? We had unfortunate mid lane. But what's the next step now?
If I'm correctly, I decided to go bot, either to gank bot lane or to go with Krugs. I'm not sure what I did there, but I assume I did Krugs after I ganked bot. Completely forgot what I did there, honestly.
Well,
but that's what I will do. I will either gank if it was like pushed, or go for the Krugs, one of two. Or probably take Krugs if it was not in danger or something.
Yeah. So I agreed. As soon as this gank happened, I was very curious about the Silas's part thing. It was very aggressive considering he knew where you started. That's unfortunate, right? But I thought, yeah, let me retreat, get Crab, take Rump, gank top lane for flash. Your guy can now freeze this wave, which is nice. This is so good. And that's why Tryndamere was pinging, help me, I need this to be unfrozen. But Silas was bottom lane. So my immediate instinct was, okay, we're Nunu, let's lane gank bottom side. They're pushed in, we've got a Braum. And you were correct. That's exactly what you did. So I think that's good. Like your thought process from what you did in game, and even if you don't remember the game, it's all consistent, right? It's so easy.
I think I focused on Karma because even if she flashed away, I could just catch her.
Exactly.
If I would have gone on Ezreal, he could just E away or flash. It was all wasted.
Yeah, Israel's just horrible for that. And he has TP, you know, he's got Arcane Shift, TP, and Flash. So you go in on him, maybe you get Flash and Arcane Shift, maybe he just Arcane Shifts away safely. So yeah, the Karma's definitely
it was
best focus.
basically a coin flip, so
yeah.
we learned one to coin flip that.
Whoever was in position to get slapped, gets slapped. So in this case, for me, the important thing to focus on is our win condition is, yeah, we got to get everyone ahead. You're Kled now because of your gank, right? This is so good for junglers to understand this. And I'm going to focus a bit more about this with our discussion just because I feel like a lot of junglers in lower, let's say lower than Diamond 2 even, don't always focus on this. Because your Kled was Mercer E West, your Kled was Challenger E Northeast. He let the wave get into a pushing position. You got the flash, and then he just froze the shit out of it. And the Tryndamere is now, you know, down what, 21 CS already. So the one thing to notice, how often do you track? Do you just kind of do new things, or do you track very often?
I think I didn't track that much this game, but I tried as hard as I can to use the F functions, like the F1, F2, F3 and such. Because those give me like HP minions information, and I can like predict in some way or another what's going to happen if the person is going to push or freeze.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly, yeah. Good jungling, right? Good jungling. Point. Period. End of story. Now the only thing for me is my thing is usually I will get sucked in. My personal issue with jungling is I will path similarly to you path, but I get so sucked into the jungle matchup. Like I'm so paranoid all my lanes are gonna feed at every point in the game, so I'm like permanently tracking to ping to counter gank. And in this situation, I know you end up doing it anyway, but in theory, right, Nunu can easily do this Baron right after bottom lane gank because Silas did red side, went here, which is really, really random, okay? And then he immediately counter ganks you in the mid lane. So this is unfortunate. But because you know he did red and 3 camps, he goes down. This means he gets bottom crab, and he's 99% going to do full blue side, right? Which means he will reset to do Krugs and Raptors. So even without looking, right, we can know he's most likely going to go gank top lane, or at least help defreeze it, and that's exactly where he is. Which means you would have had time. I mean, it's not wrong or bad. It's just you would have had time to do the dragon if you wanted, just in case that's something that was possible. But then again, you don't have the bot lane assistance, so.
I think I did Krugs, then went Raptors and Drake. I think that's what I did here.
Yeah. Because you see him top lane. You see him top lane. The only downside of course waiting a little bit there is that your bottom lane is going back to base. So now this is a bit more risky. That's the only reason I bring it up. Because
yeah, I also said to myself that it was fucking risky what I did, and I told to my duo, well, I'm going to risk for a day and fucking coin flip or whatever.
Yeah, because you get the gank here. So what we could do is, let's see. Okay, there we go. We get the coin flip now. What you could do is shove this with them. I think that might have been a good thing to do. Just purely because you know Ezreal has TP, right? So if he has TP, then then 99% this dude's just gonna come back to lane. So you can shove it and force the TP out. At least then they get to reset, or you get to get the Drake. Because if you were tracking, you say, okay, Silas must be top lane. Like there's no way he's down here at all.
Yeah.
So I feel like that could have helped a bit because they're so low. They want to retreat. They want to reset. So in terms of if your bottom lane ends up ending in these sort of games, you've made all the right decisions. I think this is something to think about. If they're full HP and the wave is in a nice freeze, that's great. But here it's not. Like I think we need to shove this so we can force out the TP, and then they can retreat, and that at least gives you the opportunity to scout the river, hit the plant, get some deep vision, and you could probably do it. Because that might be a little safer, just purely because, right? If we watch Karma in this, Karma's dead. So imagine the whole time right now you're shoving the wave, okay? You'd have to shove this next one as well, which is a cannon. But this is now going to push into the red team. And so Ezreal knows this. So he's just trying to delay their back as much as possible. And this whole time this is happening, you're on the Krugs, which is fine, but I'm sort of thinking about
things that matter.
Yeah. Like, it depends on what they want to do. I don't often like to troll the... That's a lot of babies. I don't often like to troll the bottom lane. Because here he's forced to TP anyway. But I think your bottom lane... Like, this is shoving into them, you know? Like, this is unfortunate for bot. So he's just gonna last hit right now. I think this could have all been avoided.
If I actually...
Shove with them, yeah.
Shoved.
And even then we can focus on the Karma's back timing. So let's think about Dragon. Like, in terms of Dragon, she's dead, right?
Yeah.
She's dead. So we shove. We're gonna have another wave to shove. It should give you the experience to offset the Krugs to a certain degree. Like, she's not even here, so... She's about, what? 30 seconds? 30 seconds. She's literally 30 seconds behind this wave. It hits, and then she comes with the next spawn. So you have time, I think. I think it helps set up your bot better, right? It's not something that's like super game breaking at this stage, but it just helps set up your bot a bit better and puts the wave in a nicer situation. But as Silas was top lane. Sorry, no, go ahead.
I think it's actually important for Wave and to understand this because I don't usually do this, and whenever I do it, it's mostly because my laners want to ping it. And I don't take into consideration that much, probably because I'm not used to do this. Probably. Well, if you showed me this time, then I will think more about it.
Yeah, it's just to think about the lane, because the main thing for me is obviously your duo had an unfortunate gank from the Silas. So he gets extra experience, he gets the first RNG crab, and what he could have done, in theory, to really destroy your game, is probably take your tier 2 Grump and Wolves. Like, I don't think
that's what I thought he was going to do.
Yeah,
like,
you think
that's what I thought, but he just didn't, for some reason.
Yeah, I'm thinking about that as well. Like, you know, I'm looking and thinking, okay, Nuno just went bottom lane, he didn't help push, he must go do his tier 1 Krugs to get the reset on that juicy experience, he must get tier 2 Raptors to make it worthwhile, he has to be in the Dragon right now, that should be free, because your red's also spawning, so there's no logical reason for you to sequence all the way up. Because even if you did, like, say you didn't want to do the dragon, you know, say this was just really risky because this was like a Talon and he was fighting you here. I mean, even in that situation, sequencing up puts you in such a bad position. Because you won't be 6, you'll be on the opposite side to the red, you'll be on the opposite side to the dragon. So from his perspective, I'm thinking, yeah, maybe I want to go for a look, you know? Their warding was very good this game, we're going to talk about that, but... See, the thing is, like, so you do the dragon here, you tell you do it's risky. Now, bot lane is going to be forced to do something about this. Now, guys, this is very important. Look at how they force the fight. Because if they don't force the fight, it's range versus melee, freezing, yeah? So they have to sort of engage to try and break it. The jungler is responsible to aid in this, quite often. Boom, very nice. Like, that's good, you know? Dragon into recognizing bottom lane, now you can help push up. So you have the same result, but, you know, minus a Braum death. Then your duo's doing a good job here. Okay.
Yeah, he's one of those top players that deep works in the jungle and also takes his camps at the same time.
Yep. So top lane is... Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Which helps me a lot with scouting as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because he also tells me the information and I can just predict what's going to happen and what I have to do.
Yeah, exactly. See, here, while you're doing that, he knows that the red buff is spawned. Global timers, thank you for removing that aspect of skill, but, you know, whatever. Does he get it? Does he have... Ah, yes, smite. It's Silas. This is so strong.
I think he tries,
well,
but I think he gets to it. Yeah.
The problem with this is, you know, like, if I'm playing my silly Zyra jungles and stuff like this, and I have a weak laner, I'd like to think of it in the same way as a top laner, just sort of running in. I don't think you can make that play with Kassadin. He just doesn't have the power to fight a Renekton and a Sylas here. Like, I appreciate the vision and the attempt, but I don't think you should try and fight it. Because this guy needs to scale. I think that's something you just need to think about a little bit. From the games I was watching, you guys are like Kled and Nunu, so, you know, you can absolutely 2v8 most games, right? But the problem is, if mid lane is being this dominated, we need to try and put them in the best position to you know, be useful. Okay, so that's good. I like that. So afterwards, we get the dragon. We help decompress the freeze once your bottom lane decides to do it themselves. They could have just waited for you, but, you know, bottom lanes. Braum dies. So what Braum should be doing is roaming to the mid lane, because, you know, there's no need for him to be here, guys. Right? Like, go do something. Rotate with Nunu to a side. 3-man gank the mid lane. So your support should be doing that. What do you want to do? Because you had a little twitch. Do I go blue? Do I go red? Do I go blue? Do I go red? What do you want to do? What think you should do now, like looking at it?
So there are like a lot of options.
Mm-hmm.
Holy hell. Either trying, if Braum was coming mid, I could have tried to either do a lane gank or like normal gank on mid.
Yeah, which is if he was...
Or if the Trinity was still pushing and the Clay was coming, I could also help him.
Mm-hmm.
But I cannot remember what I actually did here.
So
it was like either one of those two, or I just full cleared. But probably I didn't full clear because those options were pretty much obvious what's going to happen.
Well,
I did?
Well, it's more interesting than that. I think these little subtle things we need to look at from your perspective in these close games are laner behavior when you have a losing lane, right? So firstly, you can communicate to your duo, listen, if it's a Kassadin versus Sylas Renekton, maybe this isn't the best play because he crashed the wave into the tower, so now, you know, the Tryndamere can just say, okay, thanks for all the catch-up. Because the victory point you had was that Kled was destroying Tryndamere. Right? It was more important than trying to steal from the Sylas. Like, what do we accomplish? I mean, we burn his flash and stuff, but it forces the ults and things, but it's not really a game-winning play, right? It's just a play that happens and we forget about it. For you thinking, okay, I'm gonna go do blue, I'm gonna go do red, what do I do? If you're looking at the Renekton, just watch him from your point of view. Watch where he goes. Down. Okay?
Yeah.
So if you've ever played mid lane, right, all of us know this sucker is gonna go and get some vision here, right? And we turn on the vision, we'll watch it, right? We can look at this too, because you're not doing anything right now, right? He puts this ward here. Now this ward, can I give you some bad news? That ward lasts for 7.5 minutes.
Oh.
Nah, this is a champion ward. It gives you away, and he warded your red as well. So if you see, right?
Continue, sorry.
No.
I wanted to talk about that small word in the red. So I think the millionaire think that it's going to be a word, and I have to be careful. But I thought it's going to be a word at Raptors, because I didn't think he will go that far to ward my red. So I just lanced the Raptors. There you go. And I saw that's nothing.
Now, in essence, I think you're right to assume that this is really random. But at the same time, let's look at it from his perspective, right? They saw you gank bot, they knew you went and did Krugs and Raptors, and they knew your red wasn't up. And then they knew you did Dragon because it pops up. And then immediately after Dragon, you went to bottom lane, and they can see, hey, he has no red buff. Which means as you go back to base, he knows full well that your red's still up. Like, that's really, really good tracking by Renekton. Like, that's not a bad play by anyone in the game, it's just really good tracking by the mid laner. Like, really good tracking. And he knew exactly you had a decision to make. Because blue was spawning, right, that you would have to pick. And he went and warded this one so they would know which one you picked, and then they could make a play around it. And the reason he did that is because as soon as he sees you on the red, Sylas knows, hey, blue buff is up. It's really well played by Renekton. That's it. That's all it is. There's nothing you can really do, except as soon as you see Renekton go down, maybe segue and think, oh, they want to go do my blue. So you could go and tell your top laner, listen, you got the shove, Trinity is back in base, let's get control. Now, I know what happens. I don't know if you remember what happens, but Twitch chat will find out in a second. So...
Kled will ult mid or something along those lines. It's going to be a huge fuck up or what?
No, you guys both understood that. As soon as you saw the ward here and you said, oh, he warded Raptors, or whoever said, oh, he warded Raptors, it's the same result. So you know, as I do red into Raptors, he's going to see me. So let me drive by mid lane, decompress by shoving him out. He has to respect your snowball because it's giant. And then your top laner says, let's stop them on the blue, because if they warded this side and they saw me, they know blue's going to be up. So let's you know, fork them. And that's exactly what you do.
Okay, so that's what I did, but I did huge.
Oh, now you flash. Yeah. You try to flash E, but it warped just before, but I think you still get him, right? Sylas is so hard to kill.
Oopsie doopsie.
But that's such a good read, right? Guys, this is such a... Yeah, the same results would have happened if he warded blue, except inverse. Like, that is such very high-level mid-lane play, high-level top-lane awareness, and predictable Sylas behavior. The only person that was predictable here is Sylas. Because you in the game, you must have... Like, both of you just knew, okay, look, if they warded my Raptors, and they know my blue just spawned, he's going to try and steal it. So you just collapsed on him. It was really good. Yeah, it was really good. And then from there, straight segue, don't go back into your jungle, straight to the Herald. Like, it's so subtle though, isn't it? I mean, the results end up being very, very similar, but the reasons for why things happen, I don't know. I find it really interesting. Because those small little impacts add up very much, you know? Especially if you've got snowball lanes. Like, I played with a Katarina, a GM Katarina last season for a bit. And it's insane. Like, these little things I'm doing, like the bottom lane wave decompression and helping unfreeze and stuff, it gives her 2 kills that she wouldn't have, and poof. You know, all I'm doing is getting dragons and heralds and making sure she's peeled. It's the same kind of thing with a Kled, right? I mean, you just want to keep him... I mean, he doesn't really need you to stay alive, does he?
Yeah, he doesn't. For now, at least.
Yeah, for now, at least. Yeah, later things change. So, okay, right. So, obviously, you're feeling pretty good. You killed the Sylas. If you were tracking his blue buff spawn, you'd know that it was just coming up. So, 100%, he has to be blue side, right? Because your Kled collapsed on him. He invaded you here. You saw the blue spawn. So, if you're tracking, you know he must be there. I think that's something to keep an eye out for. Just the blue red buff spawns, you know?
Yeah.
What do you want to do now? Because Kled obviously got the shove again. and he wants to roam. So what's the goal from your two perspectives here? What do you think?
I think I followed him with his ultimate and then used referral on Mend, I think?
Yes, and this is where the game gets a little bit dicey, actually. So the problem here is that you guys went for the gank when the wave was shoved and Kassadin wasn't in position, and then you retreated up, and then you retreated up, and Renekton, the fact that they saw you on a shoved wave with no vision means this wave crashes. So Kled, again, this is twice now he's roamed and lost CS. So the Trinity is now down 1. He was down 21, now he's down 1. So Kled has lost, you know, a lot of CS with 3 roams, and only one of them was really good, which was on the Sylas here. The getting deep vision was nice, but I don't think you had to stick around for fighting. I think once you know that Renekton is back, like that's what's very important, right? If Kled roams here, sees Sylas, Renekton's back in base, you know you got 20 seconds before the Croc shows up, and Kassadin is just a Twix, you know, you just snap him. He's nothing. So I think that's something to think about. But as soon as you gank mid lane here, and then go up, you're seceding the entire blue side jungle to the red team. So, you know, like, right now my mind is thinking, bottom lane dives, but fortunately Renekton comes back mid. But I'm thinking in my brain, what if, right? Like, they know where you are now, and I think that's pretty big.
That sucks.
Yeah. I think it was...
Then they can just do tricky things or try to force bottom lane.
Yeah.
Since they know that I'm not going to go there soon enough.
Exactly. They know you're not there. So the gank, I think, could have waited. I think what you should have done is wait. This is now better. You see? There's waves. You have vision. Renekton's shoved up. He's committed. They're much better. Your bot lane roamed. See, that's much better. But you could have done that, you know, without having the drive-by. Like, you could have done blue and Gromp after Herald, or taken his Raptors as well, and then done the same gank while this guy gets to control the wave a bit more.
I see.
And for me, this is good as well, but the fact that you don't break the you don't really want to break this tower just yet, I feel. What do you think? Like, it's
I
level
didn't want
8.
to because I saw bot lane dying, and I tried to help them out, but I think it didn't work out or something like this.
No, because that's all an extension, right? Everything that happens now is an extension from the red buff ward from the Renekton. Because I'm thinking, you know, once you try the first gank and it was obviously bad, just not bad ganking, like the idea, just timing was a bit off because Renekton wasn't there. You know, you have Raptors up, you have blue, you have Gromp, maybe you can gank top lane. That would have been an option, and then together you can roam down. The thing is, because they saw and you were basically topside total, they gave the Sylas the opportunity to go into your jungle. You see? Like, look where he's sitting right now. So by showing your intentions and telegraphing what you want to do, it basically tells this guy who's behind, oh, thanks for your camps. I enjoy. But yeah, I don't think we want to destroy this tower. So normally we want to use it on like 2 plates, obviously, you know that, for maximum, because those are really tanky. But I don't think we want to destroy it, we just want some of the gold. Does Kassadin even get some? Okay, good, he does.
Yeah, I think he gets them.
Because if you get this tower now, and it freezes, this guy is screwed. Like, Kassadin is screwed if there's a freeze on this, because he can't shove up, because Renekton will kill him. He can't shove up, because Sylas and Renekton will kill him. And he hasn't yet scaled to the point that he's remotely useful. He hasn't even got Rod yet, so... I'm not sure I use the Herald here just yet. But at the same time, let's see what bottom lane does. So bottom lane goes straight look, see? Look at the value of this ward. Look at this. Yes, he's this is why. So he warded your red and your Raptors, and he sees every movement. He sees the bottom going down, and that's what stops the Sylas' back. That's insane. Like, that one ward wins them the game.
Wow.
Yeah, because basically, if you knew he warded Raptors, I think I wouldn't have scanned this, but I would have scanned this. I would have thought he just used Trinket, right? I would have thought, hey, I used Trinket. But, don't worry, 1050, 1050, okay. So 1050 we're at. We go back in time to 7. Watch this guy. If you press tab, you see the control ward, right?
Yeah.
Right. Now, as soon as he disappears into darkness, because you're waffling, now press tab again. You don't see it. You'll see he's missing, right? So we wait, we're like, okay, we go to red buff, I press tab, everything's good, Renekton's gone. He goes and wards my red buff. And as soon as he shows back into vision, right, as soon as you see him there, you see his angle, you press tab and like, oh, the control ward is gone. He must have used it. So that's such a small piece of information. So for you, it's not in this bush, it's not in this bush, it could be in this bush, and if it's not, then it must be in that one. So I think taking the time to clear that would have been huge. Because it annoys him also, right? That's so small though. And the thing is, by not killing that ward, Silas...
Gave them so much information.
Yeah, it gave them so much information because Silas saw you miss the gank top lane. He saw you take the Herald. He knows that Trent is pushing in tower plates and Kled's lost all the CS. He's down a level now, which means he's taking your jungle camps. If he doesn't see you, if he doesn't see bottom lane, he goes back to base. But because he sees the bottom lane go across this ward, he stops his back, and that's why bottom lane dies.
Yikes.
It's so damn subtle. I love it.
Yikes.
You don't love it. I love it.
Okay, but I also love it because it just opens more doors for me to look out for, because I actually didn't look at his items or anything. I just assumed that he warded.
Yeah.
That's it. Didn't think further down the line.
Exactly. It's so like, you know, as soon as a mid laner disappears, guys, press tab, look at what they had before they go into darkness, right? And when they come out of darkness, press tab again. If they have lost the control ward, you know exactly where it's been used. Go kill it. Go kill it. You know, keep it. It's because this one ward in that situation is fine. But it literally just kills bottom lane and gives their team all these tower plates. Now, yes, I see in chat, should we give the plate gold to Kassadin? Yes.
Yeah,
I think
because he has to scale.
He has to scale, yes. However, as a jungler, if you're going to provide this, yes, it gives him more opportunities to roam and everything like that. But what if every other lane is like this? Look, this guy's just killing this. Okay, he's drunk, but he's Tryndamere. He killed your duo, so he's got the lead now, right? This bottom lane is shoving. What's Kassadin gonna roam to when everything is compressed? Right? What Kassadin needs is map stability to scale. And guess what happens once you take this tower and this tower? Where's bot lane and top lane gonna go? Mid. Okay,
Yeah.
we go mid now.
What?
So what's he gonna do? He's gonna sit mid with four people, right?
Oh god.
And then you went back to base. I think you had to go back to base. But the thing is, you went back to base, walking down to help bottom lane. Then bottom lane died, and you walked by this ward again, so they knew you weren't coming to help.
Oh god,
It's so subtle. It's not your fault. It's great vision by the Renekton. It could have been avoided literally from pressing tab. Like, you press tab before he disappears, you press tab afterwards, like, oh, he plays the control ward.
Okay, but I think it's also my fault for not thinking about this. I don't
Yes,
think it's
yes,
entirely
yes.
like...
Yeah.
To be fair, if I knew all of this, I could have just predict so many things and prevent so many stuff.
Exactly. Like, he made a really great play with the wards and the tracking, and you and your duo made a really great play defending the blue. The only mistake you two made after that was ganking mid when you knew Renekton wasn't there, and you knew Kassadin had a wave crashing, which revealed you going up, which gave him Krugs. So that's your biggest mistake. The vision then just made it 10 times worse. You know? Like, if you cleared this and everything else happened exactly the same way, I think you're okay. Like, you're still in a decent position, but purely because that ward, it just basically compounded the issue to such a degree, it's not funny now. It might be funny tomorrow. But it sucks. See here too. Like, you know Dragon's up, and they have this complete vision of you, but fortunately you're not quite in it.
I think I have like a mental thing to go really far away from that bush because it might be worth it or not. So
Yeah.
I just
that's
go away.
That's good pathing though. Like that's just good pathing practice, right? All junglers, we know this, stick to the walls, use the areas that we know are gonna be dark. So like, that's good principle, but it's also good principle to check the bush. You know? But that's good. You have bot lane prio, you had mid prio, that's a good dragon.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Like you very opportunistic, because you know that because you guys died and they shoved the tower, you had the bot reset, the timing reset, so you would always get to the dragon before them, and they wouldn't be able to do anything. But because of that, right? I think we need to look at the pathing from your point of view, what to do afterwards. Okay. So you get the crab too, because Nunu. Then you guys disengage. Right. What are you thinking now? Right. Okay. So this you probably feel pretty good after this dragon, right? And if we look at the gold, you're down 1.6k. So with a Kassadin, that's not so bad, right? You don't feel too bad about that. But what do you want to accomplish now? What's the next sort of objective or rotation in your opinion, based upon what we know?
Well, of course I'll go with Krogs and try to reset, go for top side and clear, and probably try to help top lane and try to take a tower, if that's the case or not. If not, I would clear the camps, I think. I mean, that's what I would have done.
The only thing to watch for is this. You see it? Very subtle, right? It's his E, right? Yeah. He E's over the wall, so and then Silas E's over the wall. So you know they're in your jungle.
Yeah.
So at this point, I agree. Just take the Krugs as fast as you can. You have to get it. There's no question. This guy thinks he's Canyon Jug King. And now I think you 100% know. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we should have expected that, I think.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let me guess, Star Dive into like 3 kills or something.
Well, you stopped it. There you go. No.
Oh, I stopped it.
Yeah, you stopped it. Like
hey, I should just stop expecting the worst. Jesus Christ, what am I doing?
There you go. Boom.
Oh wait, I'm doing further. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Like Kassadin just showed you, hey, I got Rod of Ages. Let's go. And so it begins. So you're on a timer now. Let's get this guy to 10 stacks, right? Let's have the Dragon Soul win con. Because it seems like, I don't know the matchup very well, but it looks, based upon this game, the Trinity just starts destroying your Kled. He makes it so difficult. Because he's now down 10 CS, he was like, okay, I just leave top lane and go ward the red because I can't fight him. And he's had to give up the wave. He's just leaving because it doesn't look like he wants to take it. You'll have to speak to him about matchups. I think speaking to him about matchups would be very good for you, just to sort of understand what power spikes he likes. In what matchups?
Actually,
because
I do ask him quite often how is he the drags into Trinimir, and he most of the time says that it's a bit of early, but once he sits on a side lane, he cannot do much because he just gets outscaled.
Yes, exactly. But I think because of the 1 or 2 rums he did, and the ganks you guys did, he got outscaled a lot sooner than anticipated. I think there should have been a bit more focus. Once you guys killed Silas and got the Herald, I think instead of going mid, you look to just kill Trinimir quickly and then use Herald top lane. I think that might have been a better option, because after that happened, he lost so much, you know? He lost so much. And basically the lane was done from that. So I don't know, from in terms of a gold funneling standpoint, getting your top laner to the point where this doesn't happen, like he's actually the dominating laner, would be pretty good. Because now you're forced into this weird situation where your top lane is roaming and this guy's gonna get free fed. And Kassadin, again, he wants 11, right? He's not even close. He wants to farm, he wants a little bit of action, but he doesn't want constant skirmishing. You know, he needs farm, he needs a bit of love. So it looks...
We were just forcing it non-stop.
Yes.
And we couldn't let him scale.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why he didn't do that much damage in this game.
Yeah. He's trying, like, he's really trying, you see. The Kassadin is just like, guys, I'm doing my best, but you just stop.
Okay, a little note about this. I actually blamed Kassadin for not doing much damage in the last team fight, that's why we lost. But right now that I'm looking at it more, I'm just demolished a little bit because all of this could have been prevented by just not using the Herald mid and also clearing the goddamn words.
Yeah. Yep. Because I think in this case, what you're trying to do is buy time for Kassadin entirely, and you're the same level as Kled. I think when you're the Nunu or supportive jungler is the same level as the hyper carry top laner, you're probably looking at an unfortunate day.
Yeah.
Like when did we use the Herald? We killed them. It was here, right? Like here. So you did Herald for me. Like let's just look at it. So you did Herald here for me, and then Kled now knows. Okay, I've crashed a wave. Trinity is back, but look, it's neutral. It's neutral. So you know full well that the Silas, as I said, was dead and is blue spawn. So you know he's down here, which we confirmed, right? He's on Krug, this fat Gromp. So you know full well you can go probe his jungle. Like this is what I think I would have done if I was like hyper focused on the game, because this is such a small detail. But I would know, okay, look, my Kassadin is here. So do I really want to gank mid lane? Probably not. And because the Renekton knows that you just killed Herald, he's not stupid enough to walk up. Like maybe in gold, no offense guys, but maybe in gold he walks up to see what's going on. But this guy's like, no. Why? Blue side is gone, Herald is gone, 2v1, my jungler's down here, there's no point. I'm gonna go down. So I think this gank here is the mistake, because if you just float up and invade his raptors together, go together, put the raptors, get some deep vision, use the plant to hop over, and then just come from the back here. Literally prison him, you know, in the shower, just take him out. Loop. Raptors, deep ward, hit the plant, use this, what's this called? Bouncy plant, and then go through this way. Blasting cone, there you go. Blasting cone, thank you. Cone. And then now go through this way, just in case the try is warded, which it is. And he has R and everything, but you can chunk him enough that you can use Herald. Right? And that gives your Kassadin, because your Kassadin is not even there, so your Kassadin is like, guys, relax. Like, this wave's crashing, I'm going to lose a few minions, but we're good. We're good, you know?
Stop being bloodthirsty.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like this gank, from the red team's perspective, they see your snowball, okay?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So most people will see, okay, right, I'm roaming down, I'm here, Nunu is there, and they ping it. The Renekton and Trinity, two people see it. Ironically, not the Silas. And so he knows, right, look at him. He thinks because there's no vision, maybe Nunu's gonna come on down. But when you don't come on down, he knows you went up. And the Tryndamere cheated the recall because you showed mid. Like, watch this. Snowball, Tryndamere says, okay, bye. I'm out, see ya. Bye. You know? But in the other universe, you're ganking him as he's going back. You're ganking him as he's going back, and he's going back with no gold, really. Like, he just went back to avoid death because he knew you were topside. So he just shoved a wave and went back just to get whatever little advantage he could. And in that moment, I think the cadence of the game shifted drastically. Like that moment right there, you know what I mean? Because
yeah,
we could have just counter jungled, deep vision, kill him. You wouldn't kill him. Maybe you do. I mean, he has ult, so you at least chunk him, shove him out, get the Herald, get all the plates, open this up. Both of you reset. You don't even need Gromp and Wolves. Now you can go and lane gank bottom lane and get that second Drake. You know, and then now Trinity is shoved in, but your Kled's hyper fed. You know, he's got 5 plates, he's got a kill, and now you can shove the bottom lane big time because you know your bottom lane is doing pretty decently. And and then you kill the Silas. And I think like in that moment, you probably have enough of a lead to hold off until Kassadin gets to be Kassadin.
Gets to be Kassadin and gets to like one shot the
yeah. Do you agree? I mean,
16.
Do you agree? That's how I see it. I mean, I know a lot of people, Master Tier, Diamond 2, Diamond 1, see the game exactly the same way, but from my perspective, that's how I see it. Just because of
Yeah,
how the
totally
Renekton's
agree.
playing. And now here, your Kled feels suffocated, so he's forcing it. And the Kassadin doesn't want to... see, there you go. There you go. Hey! Pogorn's in the chat. There we go. 15 minutes. It's finally dead. Its reign is overthrown. and because they forced this fight, right? You got 2 dead. And poor Kassadin didn't want that fight at all. Because he had a cannon wave. So Kassadin just wanted to enjoy the juicy cannon wave. And because of all that stuff in the mid lane, bottom lane got the tower, and as I said, they're gonna go mid, so everyone just goes mid. So, like, there's no time for Kassadin. You know?
Yeah. So we basically played a 4v5 just because we were forcing a lot of shit and he couldn't scale after all.
Yeah.
Yikes.
And your laner probably roam, like the roam was a little bit ambitious. Like if you're able to circle and take his raptors, take his get some wards in his jungle and then collapse in Trinity and use the Herald for plates, I think Kled is okay for at least another 5-10 minutes while you get your bottom lane ahead, and then once that happens, Kassadin will catch up to you. And then here now you're basically struggling to get farm, and look at this. Like you go into this like look at this guy, right? He just wants to get level 11. And he's forced to go into a cannon wave pushing top lane. He's forced. The poor dude's gonna get 3v1'd. You sell them out. You this poor guy, man. Like if he's a Kassadin main or like a really good Kassadin main too that just needs level 16, he's just in such a shitty position.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Poor Kassadin boy.
And they put more deep vision. Like the vision's disgustingly good. This Renekton's vision score is 13, but it's been a hell of a 13 minutes, you know. And here for me is a thing. So sometimes what you'll do is in these behind situations from the games I scouted, you'll have control wards, and you know that they're invading your jungle, but you don't use it soon enough. So right here, as soon as you know you have no vision control of the map, as soon as you know this dragon is spawning, I think you need to use your scanner and the control wards to make sure your jungle is clear, because the worst thing you can do is show them what your intentions are going to be. And sadly, as you see, there's a ward right here again.
Yeah, I noticed.
So yeah, if you're scanning it, you know, at least you kill it, and now they're blind. So if they're blind to you, they have to play a little differently. Very subtle. They know where you are, but they don't know what you're doing. And now they know where you are, what you're doing, and how you look today. You know. And they know you just hit the snowball into this. They saw you hit the snowball into the rock, but if they didn't have the ward, they don't know your snowball isn't up, right? So the threat of your snowball will force them to play differently. But as soon as they see your snowball is down, now they know, oh, we get 10 seconds.
Away.
Yeah. It's very subtle, but I mean, I think that makes a big difference in terms of these skirmishes, knowing what spells are up and are not up. You have Kalista Nunu, so I hope you guys can channel, but the thing is, I'm gonna be honest with you, and be very honest with you. I give this up. I don't think you win this fight. I mean, we know you don't win this fight, but in game, I don't think you win this fight. Like, I look at the gold level, 6,200 Kassadin, 6,300 Renekton, except the 6,300 in Renekton is like 8,000 equivalent in terms of game state, you know, it's just, he's just so much stronger right now. Level 11 versus this poor Kassadin's been level 10 for 12 minutes. I don't know if you win this, you know, I think it's okay to give it up and look to gain an advantage somewhere else. Again, like the Nunu play is very good. I loved watching your Nunu. I loved watching your Nunu in all the replays you sent me.
Appreciate that.
Like that gets the Nunu is great, but it's a matter of jungling, right? I cannot teach you anything about Nunu. I cannot teach you anything about Akka. You've got almost 2 million combined in them. So the thing for me is, you have to ask yourself the question when you go for this dragon: if we die, what do we lose? Dragon and a Herald push mid. You did die, and you did lose Dragon and Herald push mid. If we don't contest, we say, right, we have 2. We still have a Drake still win con. What can we do that helps decompress the game? you've got a slow push here, right? So, well, not actually slow push, but you had it pushing up at least. So you can't do anything in there. What you could do is just shove the mid wave.
Oh yeah. And
like as a team,
give them like more time to use the less time actually to use the Rift
yeah.
Herald.
Take the waves away from the. I mean, just say right. Take the dragon. Enjoy that one dragon will give you. We're gonna shove mid lane, right? We're gonna go into your jungle. We can play some wards. You can take the Krugs. You can have Cassid and Cassadino go split top side. Maybe you can take this tower. If this, I don't recommend like 5 people going top to push this tower because as soon as you do that, they're just gonna herald. But where do they herald? Because mid lane's shoved up and this is shoved up. So even if they decide, hey, 5 top, let's herald mid lane, you guys easily recall in time to defend this. You know?
I see.
Like, I think you should just ping your team off and say, let's shove mid. Like, ping on my way. And I think you've learned the difference between D2, D1 Mercy and like D4 is people actually sort of kind of know these things. You just have to direct them sometimes, you know? Like the bus has wheels, you just have to steer it. Whereas in Diamond 4, sometimes it's like a bus with no wheels and you're just kind of smacking you're dragging it along the road. So
pretty much, but worse, I think.
maybe, and the bus is on fire, and there's a tornado, and a hurricane, and an asteroid's about to hit the bus. Yeah, that would be D4. But in like Diamond Master tier, you at least have wheels. So, you know, like you ping on my way here, and you say, right, okay, enjoy, because what you've done is it's so good. You forced their whole team, like into this section, them thinking, oh, they want to fight, right? So all you do is you say psych, you go mid lane, you shove it up, you get some deep vision, maybe you do the Krugs, your Kalista does the wolves, Cassidon can get some solo experience on the top side, Kled can just keep whacking this tower as long as he needs to, and as soon as you see someone roam up from this ward here, you'll see on the stream in a second, that ward there, then Kled can disengage by going up as well. So all of you get out, but you shove all the waves, and what that does in pro play issues is of course they freeze, right? But in solo queue, they're not going to freeze.
Yeah.
Like, they could just freeze and starve you out so that you're forced to engage. But, I mean, yeah, I don't think it's going to happen in solo queue.
Yeah.
Also, you have to play it by ear.
I don't know how to freeze after lane. Only most likely, but after lane, nah.
Yeah, exactly. But by forcing this dragon, you guys die. And because you... well, who dies? Your bottom lane dies, of course. It's always the bottom lane. They get the dragon. They get the herald mid. And I think, like, even at this point... you don't get tilted, I think, because now they overstayed, right? And now you guys can say, oh, you guys overstayed. Hello, my friends. And you just go slice them down. So this is them having a reverse throw, right? Like they also overstayed. Because they got a split push in Tryndamere. And they're pinging Tryndamere. Tryndamere is just chilling on the bottom wave. And this is so Tryndamere. He's like, I don't care. Bye. I don't care what you guys do, see ya. Just cares about his own business. But this is nice, because now at least... so now everyone should be scanning, get rid of all these wards and things like that. But again, you're still sitting on those 2 control wards, right? When you were clearing Raptors, and you're going to Dragon, you had the 2 control wards, you still have them.
Yeah.
So you could have just used them. Put them in the bush, what do they have? Put it in this bush, what do you have? Just like get rid of the wards, you know? Vision denial this game is the story, but also how to let your laner scale
it's another one
without screwing him over. But like that's good. So now what happens is because it's a high reload game, everyone sort of understands. Okay, we need to relax a bit. So from your perspective, you just relax because it's clear. Don't venture into the darkness. Don't face check. So guys in low elo, you can see this, right? They're not forcing fights, they're not going into the darkness. Just be patient, because guess what? In Diamond 2, Diamond 1 Mercy tier, people still want to take these fights. But this is a much better fight. It's jungle versus jungle. And you've got the Kled splitting on the bottom side. So, for me... there's 2 schools of thought here, right? You've been wave clearing, getting vision control, playing it safe. That's been really good, right? I like that. So, and obviously, mid to low MOR, they're going to tilt into you. The pathing here is a little bit risky. I think you know that, though. Like, you know in games when you're behind, you're like, I can just sneak through. I can just get through and then you die and like, ah, god damn it. But I think here you just have to fall back safely down the left of the fork road. I think going right is just, you know they're there.
Yeah, I knew.
Like, just go down. Just go down. I think, in my opinion. Because here, you can see the ward here too. If I'm just watching the ward, there's the blue trinket. There's Ezreal. There's this scanner from Silas. Because Ezreal doesn't have a scanner, so it must be Silas. So you know they're there as you face check. So I think just going down here is good. And the reason why I think going down here is good is because you're only down 3k. And it's 12-12 in 21 minutes. And you have a Kassadin who finally is level 12. And your Kled has got split push prio, which forced the Trinity to go back. So at this point, all you're trying to do is not fight because you want to buy him time. So I think in this case, a lot of things we've talked about have been sort of a combination of you and other people. But in this case, I think we can definitely say, okay, you, as Nunu, should have just gone down and given time for Kled. You know? Because look, he melts us. And as soon as he sees Tryndamere, what he can do now is go through the jungle into mid lane, and now you can fight. Now you fight 5v4. That's when you fight. You agree?
Yeah, I do agree. I totally agree. I actually, another note here, when I cleared the ward and such, I didn't expect them to engage. Like, I thought they just want to take the tower top. That was my perspective at least. Didn't expect to die there. But now that I see a different perspective, I can clearly see that Cliff just leave and try to run away instead of trying to be tricky and try to take the blow. That was so bad for me there.
Yeah, it's just greedy because, you know, imagine if all Kled was doing was forcing Tryndamere to leave, and they know they can beat you currently at this point at 21 minutes 4v4. So they're always going to look to make a pick and fight anything they can get. So the goal of Kled here was good because it forces Tryndamere to go back, and he can't 1v1 him. So what he might as well do is use his ult in the mid lane, and now they're all split up. Like, Silas dies from the fight, Ezreal's back in base, Karm is here, Renekton's here. They're very split, so I think this moment right here, if you were able to get Kled flanking with ultimate, if you guys were able to engage right before we got there and have that 4v5 fight in your favor, Baron, game. Baron game. Well, in theory.
Wow. Right? If there was no other variables.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if you played it perfectly after the Baron, yeah. But I think with Baron and Drake, a third Drake, you should be fine. Because Kassadin would be level 14, you know, after all that. Instead, he's level 12. And then now your bottom lane gets hungry, but they should be able to get him. So now this should be you guys. This should be 5 people, and they should all be dead. It's so subtle. But it also shows you that those little moments of bad pathing screw you, and the little moments of good pathing, like when you did the Fire Dragon, you avoided the vision of the bush and you just snuck it away. They didn't see you until it was halfway HP, so... Good pathing gives you good things, bad pathing kills you.
Gives you bad... Yeah, just kills you.
Because you do it again now. Like, the whole thing is so good. Like, literally for the next 5 minutes, everyone's relaxed. Everyone's relaxed. No one dies.
Yep.
And as soon as they go into the Baron now, there's a dragon spawning. So I think what it does is it forces you guys to make a decision. Kassadin's level 12 still, you know. The Braum face checks. You're in an AoE spell. Like, that's not so...
when I saw Braum looking there, I was like, why are you doing this? Why are you going there? You're going to die. And yeah, that's what it was going to happen, or didn't happen. But that was like my thinking at the first seconds.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, now they get the dragon. Now you guys go Baron.
Yeah,
and you can't do it.
That's when we kind of lost there.
Yeah.
I mean, we lost before, but I think this was the turn point when
you had
we just should have done that.
Yeah. I think you're like, we're looking at it, and there's a few moments where you could have, like, there were so many moments where you could have, okay, despite this mistake, we can win. Despite this mistake, we can win. Despite this mistake, we can win. Oh, we lose. Yeah, because you can see the fights are getting much closer, but you know, like the third dragon is up and you've got the Baron against you, and like you just slowly lose. The Trinity is split pressures.
The last team fights where we are close enough to the last team fight, where we just
no, now you've been slowly starved. You know, the biggest thing that you needed was not to let them have Baron, because it would just give Trinity so much power. And like Kassadin's just trying his best, but he's not even, what is he, level 14? You know, it's tragic, absolutely tragic. But the nice thing is it's on all those decisions, you know, from the bottom lane thing to the macro decisions to the path thing. It's all pretty easy to put into your mind, you know. But yeah.
Fight we repeatedly, of course, but yeah.
Yeah.
I see.
Well, this is good. Like, you have a good mind and you have good path and you do so many good things well, that these little things are just like the next step, you know. So it's a good thing. I'm gonna put it on YouTube because I want to show people that what you're doing here is really good, and then those little things really make such a nice difference.
Okay, really I'm fine with that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're only down 6,000 gold.
Yeah.
You're only down 2 kills, and you've got a Kassadin who is useless because of indirectly actions by your team. So imagine a universe where you get the Kled so far ahead that your bottom lane gets a 4-man gank from you in the Kled, that your Kassadin gets to shove waves. Okay, you win the game easily. Easily.
That could have been a great dream, but
that would have been a great dream. It's just a dream, my friend. It's just a dream.
It's just a dream, sadly. Could have been reality, but sucks.
Sucks. I would, but that's good. Like, I'd rather have that kind of stuff happen and then look at it and then say, okay, I have something quantifiable to work on, you know? Just to pay attention to. It's much more hard when it's like, well, I have no idea what to do to win. I'm just losing. Or in your case, you're climbing very nicely, obviously. So it's a little bit different, but yeah. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of perspective.
Oh, it did. It also boosted me a little bit on my what is it called? Like
ego?
Before the coaching, I thought I was doing a lot of mistakes, but I didn't know what. And whenever I was doing a decision or something, I was like, wait, maybe this is not a good idea. Maybe I should do this. Maybe I should have done that. What am I doing or something? I'm not that good enough in this deal. Maybe I should do better and such. But yeah, it's just a thing of me.
Yeah, no, it's me as well. It's me as well. Don't worry, I do it as well. But I'm saying not to you because there was so many good things, and I was like, I would have done exactly the same play, you know, except a little variation in the pushing of the lane and stuff. But like the decisions were the same. And at this point, you're not far behind where I was anyway, peak last season. So, like, you're right there. It's there for you. I think Master Tier with these mistakes and like this game vision, understanding the matchups, like it's right there. Just keep going with this Kled. Make sure he understands not to roam so much. Tell him when to gank. You know, he's a top laner. They don't know when to gank. They just leave.